second post today. I am preparing for DEF CON this week, so things are a little crazy, but that also means that we get more build videos because I'm assembling this printer that is going to print files from the interplanetary file system, and it works, but there's a couple things left to do. I need to actually put some files on the interplanetary file system, which you can read about in the description to this video if you go to bit.ly/PyPrinter with capital P's. That's the project so far, and it's going to link to the final one as well. But it needs to look better than this. This is not optimal. So, to make it slightly more optimal, I've purchased a touchscreen display and a stand. Now, this will turn it into a little kiosk and do away with many of these little cables on here. Cool specs on this thing. It's got a fairly large display. Viewable screen size, which is less than the entire size of the thing, is 155 by 86 millimeters. Screen resolution is 800 by 480. Not the best, but who cares? It's a Raspberry Pi. It has 10-finger capacitive touch, though, which is a little ridiculous. That is not necessary, but I'm happy it exists. And it connects to the Pi via a ribbon cable. Yeah. So this is the 7-inch touchscreen display from Element 14. And I'm gonna attach that first and then put the whole thing into this this kiosk thing. It's from 19 Design. Those words are spelled out. And the cool thing about this is that the back comes off, which enables me, if I've done it right, to have access to the back, including the pins and stuff, which is very exciting because I need that. Actually, I may not have access to the pins from there, but I'll be able to run some cables out. It'll be no problem. Yay! There's even an HDMI out port as well, just in case you still need a larger display on there, but very convenient and exciting. So let's unpack this touchscreen display. It comes with a little safety guide, actually quite sizable safety guide. I'm assuming it's the usual things like don't put it next to lightning, don't lick it, don't, you know, feed it to your pets. All this unreasonable stuff they demand from us. Take your shoes off before you jump on it. Yeah. Okay, so we've got some little connecty wires, we've got the ribbon cable, and we've got these screws to attach the two together, I'm assuming. I'm going to take everything off of here. It's not actually plugged into power right now, which is why I'm not flipping out about everything. HDMI. We've got the internet connection. I'll leave that in a findable place. And this is the keyboard and mouse. I will not necessarily need a mouse, though it's sometimes easier to work with something so precise. I will probably need a keyboard still. And the other stuff plugged into here is a button. When you push the button, it prints a thing on the printer, and the printer is connected here to the RX and TX pins and ground. Alright, so here we have our Bear Pi. I'm going to unwrap this fella from its anti-ESD bag. ESD standing for electrostatic discharge. Basically, let's not shock it. Now, another one that I've purchased came with a little power cable that ran power both to the Pi and to the screen, which was very convenient. I don't have that, but actually what I do have, I wonder if this will work. Maybe not. Oh, that's power out. So you run power to the screen and then also to the Pi. Let's see, can I do this thing where I have a separate power cable that might work well with this, but I think I'm going to stick with this for now. Just use okay, so I'm going to run power to the screen with a micro USB cable via there. And then I'm going to run power from there to the Pi using this micro USB cable. Okay, cool. And then this is where I'm going to screw in the Pi itself. Let's see, which way does this go? Oh, here we go. I'm assuming that I'm just going to align this ribbon cable and that ribbon cable and connect the two. But let's have a glance through this safety guide just in case there's something special. Warnings about voltage, should be placed on a stable, flat, non-conductive surface. All peripherals should comply with relevant standards, I suppose. Instructions for safe use. Do not expose it to water or place blah blah blah. Do not expose it to heat. Avoid damage. Avoid touching it while it's powered on. Not designed to be powered from a USB port on other connected equipment. If this is attempted, it may malfunction. So don't power it off of something else like the Pi or whatever. Okay, that's it. Let's do it. So this is a cable. You've seen these before. So I've pulled up the connectors on the Pi, like so. It snaps out. See, this goes up and down. And the connectors, the contacts are on this side, so I'm going to place the silver contacts here that are not the blue side, contacting those contacts. And then I'm going to shove this whole thing back down again, and that basically clamps it in place. Bam! Bam! Yeah! Cool. We're nerds here. And then the other side, let's see, this also pulls out like so. And are you perfectly aligned? Please say yes. I might have to do some twisting. That would be unpleasant. I should know. But I think that maybe the thingies face outward, which would be suboptimal. Unless I can do it like this. Ooh, that might be good. Okay, now I'm just gonna push those in. Okay. And now we have all of our USB thingies on the same side. Let's see if this is properly aligned for the case. So I've got this going on. So the screw holes for the case are lining up. This ribbon cable is a little bit squished, but that's not totally surprising. Everything else seems to line up great. The Ethernet port and the USB ports over here line up with their respective slots, and so does HDMI, etc. So I'm going to say that that's the proper orientation. Fantastic. So that being the case, I'm going to screw these in using this little packet of bolts, technically, that we got. Cool. I restarted my computer, so I don't have any more of that glitching going on. It's just very exciting. No more glitching. I mean, glitching is exciting too, but it's kind of the inconvenient kind of exciting where I have to explain it every video, or just hope that people assume it's something vaporwave. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the last few videos. Yeah. There we go. And there we go. It's easier to just sort of, for the low torque use of this screwdriver, so I screw it to the left a little bit, just to get it seated properly. There we go. Then I twist it around a bunch with this way, because that way we have a faster, it's like a gear mechanism basically. I get a much faster turn by doing it like this instead of like this. And you can even hold on to the top because it spins. So cool. Then you just use the handle for the last bit of torque. Cool. Oh, one of my pins is bent. No! Does that constitute mechanical mishandling or something? Probably. There we go. That's what fingernails are for. Cool. So now, I have these other ones that came with here. So actually what I might want to do is pull those ones out that I just put on there because, oh no, these are fine. They go in a separate set of holes. Excellent. Excellent. In terms of where I want this cable to go, that could be a little bit of a pain. So, it already holds on so nicely. That's so cool. I have another one that that's from a different maker that I almost immediately dropped on the ground, and that was not the greatest thing ever to happen. But, so this way the ribbon cable is a little bit squished. I don't think I like that. I think I'd rather just sort of leave the back off. Because no one's gonna see the back. Nobody cares. And I can also do this. There we go. Cool. So now all I have to do is add these other screws on. I will need to provide some way of routing the other cables outside of here. And I'll probably just accomplish that by dremeling some holes in the back plate here, honestly, because that should line up pretty well. Or maybe in the bottom, or the side. Yeah, probably in the side here, actually. Look how nice that is. This is presumably a spot to stick a camera. And here you have the power cable for the screen. Or not cable, but the jack or whatever. Input. A nice, vague catch-all term. I was like 18 before I learned the difference between plug and jack. The fact that a plug goes into a jack. Yeah. Hey. There we go. And again, I am using this, what's the company called again? 19 Design. And they've got apparently a clear version, a white version, and a black version. And then the touch screen is from Element 14, and it's officially Raspberry Pi branded. Whoa. The other one that I have is off-brand, but it's also really cool. The sort of kiosk holder thing has what they assiduously do not call Lego. Mounts basically for Lego pieces on the outside so you can build around it, which I think is pretty sweet. And I might end up using that one in the final thing just because it's very cool. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Okay, so then I can just sort of stick this on. Look at that! I've got a Pi! The thing about touchscreens is that, at least with older versions of Pixel, you can't run a new SD card, so a newly burned version of the OS, for the first time on a touchscreen. You have to initialize it with an actual HDMI out because they don't have that set up from the start. But I think maybe newer versions of the Pixel OS do support that. So kind of an annoying thing also is that I like to be able to swap out my SD cards really easily, and I can't do that in here, so I might just Dremel off like maybe this whole side. We'll find out. Cool, but I'm excited to be making progress. Oh, where did that little USB cable go that I was going to use? Oh no! I can't plug the screen into the thingy now because, oh, okay. Let's undo this again so that I can actually run power out from the screen to the Pi. Or I could just, you know, grab a USB cable that does both, but it's always nicer to have fewer cables and just run it from a nice high amperage power source. It just looks nicer, and it feels nicer. Like, to me, I feel like a better person if I'm using fewer cables in a project. Or at least if I'm hiding them, you know. They'll be there, but they'll be hidden. Okay, so where's that pesky little jack? There we go. Ha! Okay, and now, how do I want to do this? There's definitely space to sort of run it around, but which way? What if I run it out some way? Ugh. Again, no real space to run things out of here. It would have been nice if they had. You know what? I'll just leave the back off for now. Don't need the back. Who cares? Is there? Yeah, cool. We got some room here. Wiggle room. Get in there. It doesn't want to seat properly now with that extra stuff from the... Can I just bend this? It's kind of a bad move to just bend a cable sharply like that, but no one's gonna see it. Except you, right now. So just don't tell anyone, okay? I'm not doing this. Let's see if we have any questions while we're going, because I realize now that I'm kind of been off screen a bunch. Okay. Any questions? Nope, we just have a bunch of hello! Oh yeah! Hey! Cool. Hello to you too. Come on, go in there. Okay, fine, I'll just power them off separate things. Or maybe I'll look for some power pins that I can just plug into, but, you know, whatever. You know, I have another weird little cable that I have from a keyboard power thing. I wonder if I can get this to work. Because it's got, yeah, this will probably work. Okay. Whereas I can't get that thing to fit in there while there's... Oh, come on! You went on before! I know you can do it again, jerk. I hope I'm not squishing anything important. Nope. I think it's just this wire again. Ribbon cable. There's a little protective plastic film on the screen to keep it nice and pretty. Well, of course, you know, you get it on once and everything's happy, and then you take it off, and then everything hates you. I don't know why it says... Ah! There we go. We have fit. I think it's just so snug that it's hard to get it on, you know? Don't quote me on that. Alright. We're gonna put these bolts in again, and then I'm going to try my weird little power workaround and see what happens. Come on, seat. I know you fit in there. You were just there. We've been through this. I feel like we just met, but we've already been through so much with this touch screen. There we go. Okay, so I have this weird little power cable for the keyboard that basically you plug it into a power source, and then you can plug both the keyboard and something else in at the same time. So I'm going to plug this in to power the screen, and then take this little mini USB cable, or micro, but it's also very short, so it's micro and mini, and plug it into the Pi. So now I have, if you can see that, micro USB going into the screen and into the Pi simultaneously. I did the screen first because of that warning, and I'm not sure exactly how this power cable is set up. I'm assuming that they're in, well, I guess they must be in series, right? It's possible they're in parallel, but we'll find out. Okay, let's try plugging this in. Cross our fingers. I'm gonna brace it on here so we can see a little bit better. Moment of truth. Hey! Check that out. I wish I had an application that required 10-finger touch, because that would be really... Oh, it's upside down. Why are you upside down? That doesn't make any sense. Ugh. Well, okay. We can handle that. I guess there's probably another way to flip this around. And I'm sure that there's instructions for it online. So don't take my example to heart, huh? But just because we've got it already running, check it out. We've got Pixel OS. You can click here to open the applications menu. I can probably plug this in and get internet. Where's the... Here we go. So this is just another like little dongle that I bought off the internet. Okay, here we go. And it's already connected to Hackster Things, our IoT device network. So if I hit the browser there, what I've got up here are Wolfram Mathematica, Wolfram Alpha, I think, the terminal, the file directory, and Chromium. Check it out. Go to like Google, we should be able to get that. Oh yeah, but I still need to plug in a keyboard because I think there's a way to do an on-screen keyboard, but it takes up so much screen real estate that it's just a huge pain. So if I go There we are. Took a second. And in the meantime, we can also launch the command line. Sometimes these things aren't super accurate on the finger positioning, but this one seems okay. Eric Larson asks, what is the purpose of the project? Just for fun, or do you have a reason for it? So it's sort of both. One thing that I wanted to do was, ping Google via its IP here as well. Hey, nice. So the project is to make a little printer that prints out files from the interplanetary file system, which I think is just cool. It's a way of using blockchain for something that isn't cryptocurrency. And we're going to be part of the blockchain village at DEF CON this weekend. So I wanted to have something to demonstrate like other uses for blockchain, And then it's also just for fun, kind of getting deeper into, Raspberry Pi stuff, which is not my total forte, and so I thought I'd bring you all along for the ride. And also working with thermal printers, so I have a kind of pet project idea, which is being able to perform music and have a device very similar to this be able to print out lyrics and song download links at the push of a button. So it's sort of a realization of that dream, but via a different method. Also, Brendan Landry says, little trick I've used to hold cables in a restrictive build, make a sort of frame out of zip ties. Idea being you hold everything in via a rigid perimeter. That's kind of cool. Michael Frachel says, gotta be parallel. One probably won't do normal USB data. That kind of makes sense. My power supply is low. I think, yeah, it's possible because it's like flickering a little bit. I have noticed that with, if you're powering the Pi and a bunch of stuff off of it, then if your Pi keeps rebooting, that's probably why, because you don't have enough amperage. In this case, they're both being powered off of the same power supply, but since the screen is flickering, that's probably a good call. Yeah, so I'm powering them off of a powered USB hub, which should have plenty of amps, but, whatever. Oh, the bolt of doom, huh? Is that what that means? I did not realize that. I just learned something from Michael here, which is that this bolt of doom here indicates that the power supply is not high enough, which is interesting because, yeah, again, I'm running it off of this plugged-in power supply, but maybe it is just not a good USB-powered hub and doesn't have enough amps. We'll see. So anyway, I'm going to flip this back upside down if I can figure out how to do that. But I won't subject you to those, boltings and unboltings and stuff. Thanks for watching. And tomorrow we'll be back with something fun for Hackster Cafe. And stick around for coverage of DEF CON this weekend. Should be ridiculous. Have a great day.